Hi everyone, Rashi here from Stretch and Flow, and I'm at the farm. Got a beautiful view out through the studio windows. Today I'm going to just do a 20-25 minute flow on the hips, focusing on the hips. Some of you may know that the hips are one of our biggest muscles and where we can store a lot of emotional tension and energy. So together with breath and movement, we can release some of that tension. So focus on your breath as we move through the series of postures. Notice the quality of mind, and I'll be offering threads of mindfulness as we do the practice. So let's start in child's pose and start to engage the hips a little in this pose. For those of you not familiar with child's pose, we're bringing our knees wide on the mat, bringing the two big toes together, and then just dropping the head down onto the mat. If the head doesn't quite reach, if you have a block, you can place a block there, or just make a little cushion with your fist and drop the crown of the head on the fist. Just as you're coming into your breath, resting your head either on the mat or your fists or a block, just notice the quality of your mind. Notice whether it's busy or whether it's calm. Notice any pull that you might be feeling in the hips in this pose. It's a beautiful grounding pose, a nice one to start your practice. Also getting that little stretch in the hips. As you notice the inhale and the exhale, perhaps just be curious about what your relationship is to obstacles in your life. Perhaps you're going through an obstacle or challenge right now. Perhaps you've been through one in the past. Know that they're part of life, and just be curious without judgment what your relationship is with obstacles in your life. Do you greet them and accept them for what they are? Or is there resistance and a feeling of being uncomfortable? So just for the next 5 breaths or so, whilst you're in this pose, just let curiosity be your guide. As you focus on obstacles in your life, as well as the inhale and the exhale. Try and soften the rest of the body into the pose, the facial features, the neck and the shoulders. Couple more breaths here, inhaling and exhaling. You've taken your next exhale, complete it fully, and then gently just start to walk the hands back, lifting the spine up, scooting the knees back to hip width distance. Knees are roughly hip width distance, the palms are shoulder width distance, spreading the finger pads on the mat. Soften through the shoulders, maybe even micro bend the elbows a little bit. Let's take some cat-cow curls. On the breath in, the waist goes back as the gaze goes up. And on the breath out, you're rounding and arching. Let's do 2 more. Breathing in, waist goes back as the gaze goes up. And breathing out, belly button to spine. 1 more in your own breath. Inhaling in and letting the breath go. Come back to a neutral spine. Keep your shoulders and neck soft by keeping the gaze down at the mat. On your next inhale, extend the right leg behind you. Just at hip height, push out through the sole of the foot. Try not to tense the shoulders up. Take a breath in here. As you breathe out, bend that right knee, stack it over the left hip. So we're starting to peel the hips open. Keep equal weight into the palms, so we're not peeling the whole body over like I'm showing the misalignment. We're keeping the equal weight in the palms and just stacking the hips on top of each other. If it feels comfortable, rotate the ankle one way and then the other way. Peeling the hip open a little bit more if you want more. On the next inhale, extend the right leg back behind you. Either stay here or engage the core a little bit more and bring the left arm forward for a balance. Keep the gaze low. You're pulling the left fingertips away from the sole of the foot and pushing the mat away with the right palm so you're not dumping into the wrist. Take a breath in, let the breath go, and then dropping everything down onto the mat. Take a cat-cow curl here, inhaling and exhaling. Back to a neutral spine. Press the left hand in the mat, put the right arm up. Just take a glance at that top wrist. As you exhale, dropping it back down. On your next inhale, the left leg extends behind you. Again, keeping that equal weight in the palms, engage the core. This time, bending the left knee, stacking it over the right hip. Perhaps you're curious whether this is different to the other side. Keep the gaze low. Rotate the ankle one way and then the other way. Peel the hip open a little bit more if you want. One more breath. This time the left leg extends back. Take a breath and engage the core. If you're wanting that balance, the right arm comes forward. Soften the back of the neck, reach forward with the right fingertips. Push the mat away with the left palm so you're not dumping into the wrist. One more breath here. And then as you exhale, drop everything down onto the mat. This time the left arm reaches up. The gaze can go up if there's no tension in the neck or healing. And as you exhale, dropping the hand down. This time creep the fingertips to the edges of the mat. Drop the chest down and come into puppy pose. So hips towards the ceiling, chest pushing down to the mat. The back of the neck is soft. Feel that nice stretch of the spine. One more breath here. And then gently walking the hands back, coming onto all fours again. You can either stay on all fours or press into the palms, dig the balls of the feet in and come up into downward facing dog. So that inverted V shape. You can bend the knees as much as you need to. Pedaling out the dog, so walking the knee, pressing down the opposite heel. Widen through the collarbones, push the upper body back towards the thighs and turn your gaze towards the navel. You're inhaling and you're exhaling. Perhaps be grateful for all those obstacles that you've faced in your life. Perhaps they've strengthened you in the journey that you're on. One more breath here. On the next inhale, lift the heels up. Take a glance towards your palms and just come up to the top of the mat. Hang in ragdoll once you're there, perhaps making the feet a little bit wider, letting the upper body just hang over the thigh, the crown of the head towards the mat and the back of the neck soft. Those of you that want to take interlaced opposite palms to opposite elbows, go ahead. Perhaps a gentle rock from side to side. Know that you're breathing in and know that you're breathing out. One more breath here. Release the hands down onto the mat. On the inhale, come into a halfway lift, a nice flat back. On the exhale, a forward fold as you empty the breath. On the inhale, reach the arms all the way up to standing. Take a glance up towards the palm. On the exhale, bring the hands to your heart space. Empty the breath completely. Inhaling, the arms reach up and over. And as you exhale, take a swan dive to your mat. Bend the knees if you need to. A halfway lift, a nice flat back. And as you exhale, folding forward. Let's do that again. Inhale, strong arms as you reach up. Exhale to your heart space. Let the breath go. Inhale, reaching up and over, perhaps deepening the back bend. And as you exhale, take a swan dive to the mat. Empty the breath. A halfway lift, the spine shoots forward. And as you exhale, the hands come down onto the mat and the knees follow. We're back onto all fours. Let's take one cat-cow curl together. Breathing in, the waist goes back as the gaze goes up. And as you breathe out, rounding and arching. Let's come back to a neutral spine. Keep the hands grounded. On the next inhale, the right leg extends back behind you. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, let's land it through, in between your palms. Widen through the collarbone. Focus your gaze somewhere in front of you. Let the breath just enter and let the breath leave. Once you feel stable, breathe the arms up. Make a pistol grip with the palm. Take a breath in, inhaling. As you exhale, bring hands to your heart space and lunge with that right knee. Inhaling, the arms reach up. Exhaling, hands to your heart space, taking a lunge. Feel the hip open. 2 more. Breathing in to reach up. And breathing out, coming down to your heart space. 1 more. Inhaling and exhaling. This time on the inhale, reach the arms up. Take a big breath in. As you breathe out, place the hands either side of that front foot. Scoot the left knee back a little if you're wanting more in the hips. Keep the left hand on the ground. Breathe the right arm up. Gaze can be at the top thumb. Push the mat away with that bottom palm as you reach up with the top. Breath in. Let the breath go. On your next inhale, reach up a little taller. On your next exhale, place the hand on the inner edge of that right foot. Scoot the foot to the right side of the mat if you're wanting a little bit more hips. Bring the hands to meet it. So options here, you can stay on your palms, just taking that gentle rock as we just coax that right hip to open. Some of you may want to come onto the side of that right foot. Those of you that have access to a block, you can use a block to come a little bit lower. Some of you may have the range to come all the way down onto your forearms. Whichever pose you're taking, keep the gaze at the mat and make those organic movements with the right hip. Your body knows what to do. Know that obstacles don't have to stop you. If you run into a wall, don't turn around and give up. Figure out how to climb it, go through it, or simply work around it. Inhaling and exhaling. Feel this side of the body just gently opening up. Notice your breath. Keep it flowing. If you're on your right forearm, you can stay on your if you're on your left forearm, you can stay on your left forearm. If you're on your left palm, stay on the left palm. Pressing into the left forearm or the left palm, bring the right arm up. Take a gaze up at the top thumb. Those of you that want a little bit more, bring that right arm behind you and turn and gaze over the right shoulder. You can rock onto the side of that right foot. You're inhaling and exhaling. 1 more breath. Inhale, the right arm reaches up. As you exhale, drop it down onto the mat. Use your hands to support you. We're coming into pigeon pose. I'll show you the first option of pigeon pose where you scoot the right foot over to the left, dropping the knee across, lengthening the back leg down. If you're in this version, take a breath in, lengthen through the crown of the head. As you breathe out, coming down all the way onto your mat or making that little cushion with the fists. If this version doesn't suit you, an alternative version is on your back, bringing the right ankle over the left knee, pushing out through the sole of that right foot. You can either stay here, just pushing the right thigh away from you with the right palm, or lift the left leg up, hug the left thigh, and this time pushing out through both soles of the feet. So this is an option. Or you're in forward folded version of pigeon. Doesn't matter which option you've taken, you do what's nourishing for your body. Most important thing is that breath cycle and the quality of your mind. Don't let the mistakes and problems of your past control and direct your future. Know that obstacles can't stop you, people can't stop you, problems can't stop you. The only one that can stop you is yourself. Let's take a few more breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling. If you're in forward folding version of pigeon, make sure the shoulders are relaxed. There's no tension in the back of the neck. The breath is flowing freely. One more breath here. In forward folding version of pigeon, just gently start to creep the hands up, lengthening through the spine. If you're on your back, you can meet us in the next pose. You're coming onto the ball of that left foot, lifting the leg up, pushing out through the sole of the left foot. Use your hands to support you. The right knee comes up to meet you. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, just drop down onto your knees. Bring the knees wide. And we'll all meet in child's pose. So hips to heels, knees are wide. The head is either on your mat or you've made a little fist with a little cushion with your fist. Let's take a few breaths here, just inhaling and exhaling, regulating the breath if you need to. You're breathing in and you're breathing out. Try not to let the mind get busy. One more breath here. And then gently start to lift the hips up, walk the hands back, come back onto all fours. So split the knees back to hip width distance. Place the finger mounds onto the mat. Let's take a cat-cow curl here. Inhaling in, pushing that waist back as the gaze goes up. And as you exhale, rounding and arching. Let's take it on the other side. Left leg extends behind you. Take a big breath in. As you breathe out, let's land it in between your palms. Use your hands to help if you need to. Focus your gaze on one spot to keep you stable. Widen through the collarbone. Once you feel stable in those foundations, bring those arms up. Making a pistol grip at the top, pull up from the waist. Take a big breath in. As you breathe out, this time lunging with the left knee as you bring your hands to your heart space. Inhaling, the arms reach up. As you exhale, lunging with the left knee as the hands come to your heart center. Let's do two more. Breathing in. Letting the breath go. One more. Inhale, rising up. Exhale to your heart space. On the next inhale, the arms reach up. Take a big breath in. As you breathe out, take a swan dive to your mat. Frame that front foot first. You can scoot the right knee back a little bit. And then this time pressing into the right hand, the left arm reaches up. Again, the gaze can be at the top thumb, or simply just keep the gaze down at the mat if the neck's healing. Reach up with the left arm as you push the mat away with the right palm. One more breath, inhaling. As you exhale, the left hand comes to the inner edge of the left foot. Scoot the foot out to the left if you're wanting a little bit more in the hips. Bring the hands to meet it. And either staying on the palms, just making those organic, fluid movements, or dropping down onto the forearms, or again, using your block as an assist. Let the breath enter and let the breath leave. Know that strength doesn't come from what you can do. It comes from overcoming the things you once thought that you couldn't do. Having obstacles in our lives can make us stronger. Just depends how we look at them. Notice how this side of the body feels compared to the other. Let the back of the neck soften. And again, try not to let the shoulders tense up. are just rushing in and the mind is busy, perhaps just focus on the inhale and the exhale. Taking one more breath here. If you're on your palms, keeping that right palm on the ground. If you're on your forearms, you can keep the left forearm on the ground. Sorry, the right forearm or the right palm's on the ground and the left arm reaches up. Gaze can be at that top thumb. One more breath here. Either stay here or if you want to take a deeper reach back with the left arm and gaze over the left shoulder to increase the twist. Or keep the gaze neutral if that's too much. One more breath. Left arm reaches up. As you exhale, place it down on the ground and push yourself back onto your palms if you're not there already. We're coming into pigeon on the other side, so either scooting the left foot over to the right, dropping the knee across, lengthening that back leg. Take a breath in first to lengthen, and then come all the way down to your mat, making that little push in the foot. If this version's not nourishing for you, come back onto your back. And this time left ankle over right knee. Pushing out through the sole of the left foot. So like you're curling your toes back towards you. The left hand pushes against the left thigh. Either stay here or lift the right leg up. Hug the right thigh towards you. Or you can place the hands over the calf. Whatever's comfortable for you. If you're taking the version on your back, make sure you're pushing out through both soles of the feet. Noticing the breath in and noticing the breath out. Whichever pose that you've taken, just allow the body to soften into that pose. Feel the hip opening on the other side. Almost like you're letting the breath get to those areas that perhaps are feeling tense, you've held on to a lot of emotion, perhaps have been a bit stagnant. Don't let those obstacles or the struggle become your identity. Perhaps even think of them as stepping stones to build the life that you truly want. Taking one more breath here. Forward folded version of pigeon, you're starting to walk the hands back, lifting up through the spine. If you're on your back, you can meet us in the next pose. We're coming onto the ball of the right foot, lifting the leg up, taking that push out through that whole leg first. The left knee comes up. Drop the left knee down and the right knee comes in. Just take a cat-cow pose. Inhaling in. Exhaling out. Coming back to a neutral spine. Bring the knees together. Pop the hips towards the heels. Bring the arms back towards the heels, like you're tucking yourself up into a little ball. Just let the head rest down. Just soften the back of the neck. Take a deep inhale in through the nose and a big letting go sigh out the mouth. One more just like that. Inhaling in, exhaling out. And then gently just start to bring the hands back in front of you. Pressing into the mat, lifting the hips up, coming back onto all fours here. Make the knees a little bit wider. Let's take a cat-cow curl in this posture. Breath goes in as the waist goes back and the gaze goes up. And as you exhale, rounding and arching. Back to a neutral spine. Bring the knees together, swing the ankles out to the side and come down on your sit bone. Bringing the soles of the feet together. If that's too intense like that, you can bring them a little bit further forwards towards the front of the mat. Otherwise, just keep them pushed close in towards the body. Interlace the fingertips and just cradle the toes. Soften through the shoulders. On the breath in, like you're peeling the heart open, widening through the collarbones, peeling the shoulders back. And on the breath out, really arching, curling the back. Inhaling, opening the body. The gaze can go up as well. Exhale to round in. One more. Inhaling in to open. Exhaling to round. This time on the breath in, just create length. So lengthen through the spine. Keep holding on to the toes. Take a deep inhale in. As you exhale, pull the toes towards you. Push the knees out to the side. And we're coming over the toes. You feel a pull in the inner thighs and the hips. Soften the back of the neck. Turn the gaze low. Inhale, subtle lengthening of the spine. As you exhale, perhaps coming down a little bit lower. One more breath. Use your core as you gently lift yourself back up. And then come into a comfortable seated posture, either cross-legged or legs out in front. Just let the sit bones ground. You might just want to take a gentle rock from side to side until you find that sweet spot. On the breath in, reaching the arms up, turn the gaze up. And on the breath out, bringing your hands to your heart space, let the breath go. Two more. Inhaling, reaching up. Exhaling to your heart space. One more. Peel the shoulders back first before you reach up. And then bring everything back to your heart center. Place the left hand on the right knee. The right hand comes behind. Take a breath in. Lengthen through the crown of the head first. As you breathe out, turn and gaze over the right shoulder. Inhaling to lengthen. Exhaling, perhaps to twist a little more. Everything comes back round to center. The arms reach up. Some of you may want to add a gentle back bend here. And as you exhale, take it on the other side. Right hand on left knee, left hand behind. Lengthening first, and then turning gaze over the left shoulder. One more breath. Everything comes back round to center. Bring the legs back up and then come to the top of the mat and just gently lower yourself down onto the mat. Bringing the soles of the feet together. If that's too intense, bring the feet a little bit towards the front of the mat. Otherwise, keep the soles of the feet together. Use your palms perhaps to push the thighs away and press the feet firmly so you feel that little pull. Just let the spine rest on the mat, the shoulders are on the mat. You're inhaling and you're exhaling. Taking a breath in, let the breath go. Gently bringing the knees back together. Bring them into your chest for a squeeze. A gentle rock from side to side, or making some circles with those knees. One way and then the other way. And then splitting the knees to mat distance, shining the soles of the feet towards the ceiling. Either grab hold of the ankles or place the hands on the inner or outer edges of the soles of the feet and apply pressure, pushing them down, just opening up the hips for the last time for happy baby. You can either stay here still or take a gentle rock from side to side. You decide. Most important thing is that breath. Soften through the facial features. One more breath here. And then gently guiding the knees and the feet together. Lower the legs down onto the mat. Extend them down onto the mat. Bring the arms overhead. Let's take a full body stretch. A deep inhale in through the nose. A big letting go sigh out the mouth. Two more. Inhaling, reach with the fingertips, point with the toes, and then let the breath go. One more. Take the stretch on the inhale And on your exhale, soften the body into the final resting pose of Shavasana, getting nice and comfortable. Spend a few moments getting comfortable. I'll play a little song and I'll cue you out of Shavasana when the time's ready. But for now, just allow the body to be comfortable. Allow the body to soften into the final pose. Allow the breath to slow. Try not to let that mind get busy. If it does, just bring curiosity in. Very gently notice your next inhale and exhale. If you want to finish your practice lying as you are, just stay there. If you want to finish your practice seated, just make the transition over to one side first, just curling up in a little fetal posture, either on your left or your right side. Notice the next breath in, notice the next breath out. Know that life is a constant struggle. There are moments of happiness and sadness. There are moments of laughter and tears. But to live a purposeful life, one must have the passion to overcome the obstacles that life gives us. Live life with a positive attitude and never give up your virtue or your ethics. If you're coming into a seated posture, just keep the eye gaze closed, make your way there now. If you're choosing to stay on your mat, simply stay where you are. Taking your time if you're coming up to a seated posture, letting the sit bones ground you, lifting up through the crown of the head. Either bring your hands to your heart space or place them over your heart. Know that a diamond is merely a lump of coal that did well under extreme pressure. So imagine how brilliant a human being can be by sustaining the pressures of life. Life's challenges are not supposed to paralyze you. They're supposed to unleash your inner strength and help you discover who you truly are. Let's take a deep inhale in through the nose, a big sigh out the mouth. As we finish, remember this. When life sucks you under, kick against the bottom, break the surface, and simply breathe again. Namaste.